Mm. All right. Welcome back to the Sports Ranter, and thank you to our hosts, Jake, Nico, and Drew. Joining us back again. That's right. Bottoms up. Finishing up Week 13 of the NFL. Last final weeks coming in, finalizing our fantasy football seasons. And some of us have already clinched spots, and some of us have already clinched zero percentages in some leagues. And so, depending on what league you're in. But you know what? We still have advice for you guys all. If you're paying attention to our channel, we should have set you up for a fantasy playoff run. And so, real quick, if you can, let's talk about if you've already kind of creeped into the playoffs, Jake, what should you do?
If you've creeped into the playoffs, you're spending all your energy at this point just looking ahead, looking at matchups, seeing if there's any defense out there that's going to be a good matchup, seeing if there's any kind of, there's teams right now that are being eliminated, from the actual NFL playoffs that are they going to potentially be resting some of those starters? Are they going to potentially, be, maybe looking at some other guys?
Interesting.
Those kind of things, are definitely a big deal. And, I don't anticipate, like, for example, with the Vikings, with Aaron Jones, kind of banged up and the Vikings not really going anywhere, Jordan Mason may be somebody to keep the eye on, but you're not really picking up, you're not trading. And there may be just a guy out there on waiver wires, a guy that I like on waiver wires that in this exact situation would be Ollie Gordon for the Dolphins. I don't anticipate them running A-chain into the ground for, not playing for anything. I do expect to see Ollie Gordon picking up some more carries to where he might be a viable flex or somebody that you need in a pinch. He's just one of them. So be looking for that defenses and be looking for, you can always upgrade a kicker that's playing in the elements and the wind and stuff, and, to a kicker that may be playing indoors. So be looking for that.
Drew, thanks for joining us here once again, making the crew complete. So please let us know. You already got 100% in both of our leagues. So I guess
good job, Drew.
We got to give you the platform. Congratulations, my friend.
Appreciate you.
Big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the way I lost last week, so in Nick's league, so that actually took me out of a first round bye potential spot. So we'll kind of see how this goes this next week here, going into the playoffs. But if not, then shoot, right, as it stands, I'll be playing you in the first round, which kind of licking my chops at that too. So I don't really care what happens. You know what I mean? I'm cool with whatever. But obviously a first round bye is always a little bit better to have in your back pocket. But with that said, yeah, Jay kind of nailed it. I mean, there are some players that I'm worried about. Justin Jefferson is also a big thing that obviously I get super scared of right now. I mean, he had 2 catches for 4 yards or whatever the hell it was. Like, it's just brutal, dude. Whoever's playing quarterback right now for Minnesota is scary, whether it's McCarthy or this, that, and the other. So I'm not telling you to sit Justin Jefferson, but you can't expect top 10 numbers for Justin Jefferson like you have in years past. Like I said, he's had 2 touchdowns. Like, it's been brutal right now, brutal stretch to have him, but you have to still play him, but just temper your expectations. There's some big bye weeks this week as far as who's on byes and this, that, and the other. Some big replacements that you got to take care of. I mean, Drake May's gonna be on a bye week. Christian McCaffrey's gonna be on a bye week. George Kittle. I mean, these guys are top 5 guys in their positions. So just take a look at that waiver wire, see what you can scrape off. There's always tight ends that are available that are sneaky. Evan Ingram last week was 6 for 70-ish. Those guys that you don't really have too much faith in, but you got to plug and play, especially on a fringe, either playoff or not type scenario. You gotta get a home run with your tight end position if you can. So just keep an eye on that. Kyle Pitts, some of these guys that are just there. That Brenton Strange is a great one, I think, if he's available. Him and Trevor Lawrence, even though I think Trevor Lawrence sucks, But Brenton Strange and him have a decent connection right now, so he's somebody you want to take an eye on, peek at, see if he's available, especially if you need somebody for a bye week fill-in style player. Darren Waller too comes back and he gets like what 8 or 9 points in a PPR league, so it's not going to be like, but he has a touchdown upside. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what you want. You want to tight end with the touchdown upside. So he's somebody I'd keep my eye on as well.
Excellent. Back-to-back champion, right?
Yeah.
Gotta hand it over to you. I think you're still okay looking in. I don't know.
No, not
okay.
looking good.
All right, but what are you gonna do if you're not looking good?
Nothing. Pray and hope. I mean, yeah, I could check the waiver wire. I think I have George Kittle on a bye, which doesn't help. But just in our league purposes, the only way I make the playoffs is if Jake, um, Damian, and Jaime all lose, then I win.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And what's crazy about it is we all play different opponents, so it
Wow.
actually can happen. Because if one of us were playing each other, then I'd have a 0% chance because one of the other guys would win. So we all have separate matchups, and it all comes down to who wins and who loses.
Damn.
So because that 6 seed is Jaime right now at 6 and 7, so there's 4 of us tied at 6 and 7. But like we said last week, I'm the least amount of points, so I don't have no tiebreakers. So I need all 3 of them to lose and me to win and go in.
So you're
I got
telling me there's a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yes.
I've lost 4 in a row to even get put in this position.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's been a horrible slide. So I would like to say I'm due for a win, so to speak. But we'll see. If one of those other teams win, they get me points in there. And Jake has a 25% chance. I have a 6% chance. And who cares about anybody else who's not in our league? But yeah, so Jake has now surpassed me. A few weeks back, I was like 86% to make the playoffs.
Wow.
And I'm down to like 6. So
my points scored though is looking bad. Like tiebreaker is not looking good for me.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all.
Well, Jake, we got an important game this week. Like I said, you had a percentage going in there. I was creeping at the top, but now Joe took over, and now he's clinched the #1 spot, and so I have to catch a wild card. And so, are you looking to ruin my playoff hopes here, my friend?
Well, I'm looking to shatter everybody's dreams, but but it's not a good. I need a win, but I also need some losses, and then I'm gonna need a big point day, and
Wow.
having Drake May out is not great for that situation. So we'll see how it plays out. Like there's not really anything you can do at this point, except just kind of hope for the best. Weirder things have happened, so it is what it is.
Weirder things have happened. That's right. Depending on what time of the year it is. Okay, so anyways, guys, so that's basically it. Like I said, right now you got your team, you got who you drafted, you've got your waiver wire picks, and like I said, you're gonna have. And now I think we have one more bye week, right? Week 14, right, all the way until now. So there is a few byes, but I think we're done after this week, right? And so
yeah.
But what also sucks is this, like Jake was mentioning, this build up to week 18, depending on what your team is, their standings, what the situation is. There's still going to be some fantasy implications within that week 17 game, which is championship week, right? For a lot of us. And so it's going to get interesting. You still got to pay attention no matter what situation that you're in. And so
I do want to point out, look at the IR spots, especially in the playoffs. You got a lot of people that could potentially come off IR. J.K. Dobbins is one of them.
Interesting.
You got like Mike Evans. You have, Jaden Reed. You got guys coming on IR. So if you can already in the playoffs and can hold them on the bench spot, or if your league has an IR spot, read up on them, see when they can actually potentially come back, and I mean just hold them. I mean, if you, like I said, at this point, if you're in the playoffs, your roster's kind of set. You probably got a couple guys you don't ever play on the bottom, but if you can get a J.K. Dobbins or even a Jaden Reed and or Mike Evans, and yeah, you might have to wait a week, but shoot, maybe you play them in the championship, they win your championship. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like just a spot play. You just never know. So I would look at the IR, um, and because we got there's quite a few guys there that you could potentially help you in the playoffs. So.
Fantastic. Well, look, if just as a quick reminder to our viewers, if you do have any questions and you do have anything that's on your mind, you have any situations, please feel free to join us in the comments or later. Ask us your questions. We will get back to you before the game day. But this is also your safe place to open up your rants about your football team. And so I want to open up this segment. We're almost done with the season. We got the last quarter coming up. We're all in a different spot, and so I want to take a time here to everybody give their shot. Jake and Andrew can go first in case your time situation. Jake, please don't feel glued here in case you have to go. It's okay, but we'll give it to you first. Please give us the state of your team. How you feeling about your Bills, and what do we need looking going forward?
I still honestly have no idea what to really feel about.
Even after last week, after the Steelers?
It's last week, but then it's the week before. They leave you scratching your head. I'd say right now, in the state of where the AFC is at, there's just you don't have any team that's being super consistent other really than New England. I'm still not buying into Denver. Denver has just needed too many miracles at the end, to come through. Their defense is fantastic. I'm not taking that away from them. And if they do have, if they do get a few home games in the playoffs, yeah, they're gonna, they're gonna advance. But Drake May is how lucky of a franchise to move on. Tom Brady, and then you have a little bit of a lull. But I mean, Drake May is just, you could see the ball he throws, how accurate he puts it. He just with Vrabel there, that's going to be, we're going to see another dynasty too. I think I think that's going to be really, really apparent really quick.
No.
I believe in Vrabel. I think that you get a real stud receiver there. I think they're going to be dangerous for a long time. I really do. If I being a Bills fan, I don't want to play them in the playoffs. Absolutely not. And as far as this year goes, to me, I think the Colts were finally starting to see the real Colts show up. Everybody else just looks too wishy-washy right now, including the Chiefs. I still am scared of the Chiefs. Chiefs, I'm not going to be happy until they're mathematically eliminated. And that's
100%.
But I do think right now the Bills can go in and they can beat anybody in the playoffs. But I think they can lose to anybody too. And I don't know how else to say it. Hopefully they are playing some games at home. But I don't feel great.
Nick, you were sharing that Drew wasn't here, but you were sharing with me that it's time to trade Mason Crosby. Please explain.
You're damn right it
Nice!
I don't even know where to start. I could talk forever, guys. I don't want to waste all your guys' time with the sorry ass Raiders, but Drew, I mean, just with Jake saying it, like, oh, the Patriots, how lucky, like, dude, can we just get a quarterback? Like, I don't understand. We've been looking for years, and the ironic part is, we had Derek Carr for 8-9 years, and the entire time, Derek Carr did not have a top 25 defense. The entire time he was there. Okay, I know he wasn't the answer, but the entire time he was there, we did not have a top 25 defense. We have been top 25 easily, and some of the years top 15. The last 5 years, and we've had a decent defense. Our defense is actually decent this year too. We've had our moments, but when you watch the Raiders play, you're not like, oh, that's a horrendous defense. we've come to play. We've gotten turnovers. We've held teams to 3 points, 7 points at halftime. Yeah, we may falter at the end, but like it's because our offense can only run 10 plays a game and our defense is on the field the entire time. So like we haven't been able to figure it out at franchise. It's depressing. Um, I think Pete Carroll's got to go. I just don't. I don't think
Wow.
he he came in to supposedly change the culture and start winning now. And I'm not an advocate to continue switching coaches. I think that's been the main problem for the Raiders this entire time. As far as I think they should have kept Jack Del Rio when they fired him. I think they should have kept Rich Bisaccia when they let him go. I think they should have kept Antonio Pierce when they let him go. So every single I'm not an advocate to just get on to the next one. But we all got eyes. We all see the game. We need to draft a young quarterback, and Pete Carroll's 74. I need a young head coach or a middle-aged head coach who is going to draft our quarterback and then stay with the franchise 5 to 10 years.
He's like the Joe Biden of the NFL. It's weird.
I just he came in with a win now mentality, which is fine. But it didn't happen. So you can't just continue this whole win now mode. We're not in win now.
Right.
We're just not. We're in rebuild, complete rebuild. Now, obviously, I hope we lose everything.
I asked you that, Nick, with Geno Smith. I know we had a long conversation about that.
Yeah.
We all kind of, I didn't know, like, obviously the way that, was it win now mode with Geno Smith?
100%. That's Pete Carroll's been saying that the entire offseason. The acquisitions they made, they went out, got a lot of even veteran defenders. So Jeremy Chin, when you're in win now mode, you don't go out and get a bunch of veterans. Okay. You go out and get a bunch of veterans. When you're in a rebuild mode, you're not going to go sign all these veterans. They signed Devon White, Jeremy Chin, Geno Smith. Like those are veteran guys. You come in to solidify pieces to win now. If not, you go out and get a bunch of young pieces or let all. So the other thing is that I know he was in win now mode, and I've been reading article after article. No one talks about this because it's only Raider stuff, but he hasn't played a lot of our rookies. Everybody keeps saying, "Hey, you're losing games. Play the rookies. Let's see what you got in the rookies." We got Damian Porter finally got in the last few games. They finally played our third round guard last week. They finally put him in. I think Matt Kappa, I think his name is, and it took him to 2-10 to finally start playing some rookies. Like he was in win now mode the entire time. So, I don't know. I wanted if not Antonio Pierce, I was advocating for Ben Johnson. Obviously, we know what he was doing. I wanted a younger coach, and we needed to draft a quarterback. So, obviously, we're gonna get a high draft pick. We got to go find us a quarterback. It starts there, and until we find that, as we can see in this league, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. So that's the Raider state. We got to go find our quarterback, and enough with these bridge guys. Ever since we lost Derek Carr, we haven't drafted anybody to make any significant moves in our franchise.
I agree. Drew, are you done eating, or are you ready?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, fantastic.
I was putting the work in, my bad.
Let us know how you feel.
If we're talking about the Niners, it's tough. The only thing with the Niners that scares me is the fact that McCaffrey hasn't missed a single game all year, which doesn't really happen that often. You know what I mean? That's clearly why he's probably the fantasy MVP right now. But with that said, it's like you look at it's just the inconsistencies that at the quarterback position that kind of scare me. You know what I mean? That's the life of a 49ers fan for the last 12 years.
I'll take Brock Purdy right now for the Raiders.
I get you. No, I get you.
Sign him up.
Here we go.
Hold on, real quick. I gotta say,
Max Crosby in the first or what?
Hold on, dude. You should be elated. I'm sorry, as a fan from the outside looking in, with everything that has happened to the Niners this year, and you have 9 wins. That is an impeccable job. That is
2 quarterbacks.
That is just ridiculous. Haven't missed a beat. You're not supposed to win as much as you guys have won with all your injuries. You're just not.
Yeah,
So,
but as soon as
and
Kyle
I don't want to
Shanahan,
give 49ers any more praise than I have to, but just from the outside looking in, I would be stoked as a fan. You have a Super Bowl mentality, so you're like, well, I'm a little nervous. F all that. Like the fact that you guys are even have a chance is amazing.
I agree with that, but the thing is that that is our mentality. Is Super Bowl every year. That's just the way it's been with Kyle Shanahan, and so. But that's the thing that also kills Kyle Shanahan. As soon as he has one bad game in a playoff or he goes a little off script, they're going to tear him to shreds if they go relatively deep in the playoffs. So, yeah, as great as Kyle Shanahan is, he doesn't get the credit I think he deserves in league wide stuff. I mean, he still has yet to win Coach of the Year, and there's just like, dude, no, what else can you do? But no, it's that's the only thing for me. It's just the inconsistency. I think Robert Saleh, the defense, the last couple games have been top notch. I think we got a lot of the young guys, um, second year guys, first year guys that are going in there and they're just being an absolute studs. Jair Brown has been everything I wanted and more. I can see why they let go of Talanoa Hufanga. Like Jair Brown's taking that next step and he's just becoming basically a Pro Bowl player. Um, I mean, like I think if there is any chance to maybe get Nick Bosa back, which if we have a deep run in the playoffs, they're saying there might be a little bit of a chance to get him back. Um, Obviously, that'd be huge. But looking forward, I mean, we look great as long as we can sign maybe another receiver. Obviously, Ayuk, the whole situation with that shit and yada yada yada. Um, but if we can go and sign ourselves another decent receiver that's young, um, I love the outlook of this team. I really do. The defense is young. Brock Purdy signed well. George Kittle's still there. McCaffrey's there for another 2 years. I mean, like we're primed up to make a decent run. The thing for me is Super Bowl's in our house this year. You know what I mean? So if we can get into a deep playoff run, get the Super Bowl in our house, like what more can you want? Especially if the Chiefs are fucking eliminated, like all signs are green. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited to get into the playoffs. I always get nervous because Brock Purdy kind of does these heroic when Brock Purdy does the heroic plays, it's when it gets scary. When he does all these, and he just goes back 3-step, 5-step drops, sings it, it's not too bad. When he tries to go do his heroic plays, that's when it always kind of costs us. So
they say the same thing about Josh Allen over and over and over again.
yeah, but Josh Allen is more consistent with heroic plays than fucking interceptions. And Brock Purdy is air mails. He always air mails interceptions going off his front foot, trying to just throw the ball off of a scramble all the time. It always happens.
Monday Night Football. Yeah.
Josh Allen's heroic plays are running down the field carrying 4 defenders. And
yeah, that's the difference. When Josh Allen tries to be heroic with his arm is when they talked about. But yeah, Jake's completely right. He's Superman on the ground, but like the thing is, Josh in his earlier career, like he got away from it. I said it last week. Like 2 years, he turnovers went way down. The turnovers are up this year again, compared to how it was the first 3 years. So that's what they mean when he tries to do a little too much. Like Jake was saying, he doesn't have all this that. Josh Allen in his head tries to think like I have to go win this game, which is Jake says he has to do that, but at the same time, if he doesn't control himself when he does that, he ends up giving the game away even
but the
more
big
than that.
but the big thing though, he's gone back to the turnovers. I get it, but who has he not had the last 2 years? Stephon Diggs. Your number one receiver has been Khalil Shakir. It's been Keon Coleman.
Even like the last game though, like you I get we keep saying he doesn't have receivers, but you have the best running game in the league. Or
no, I get that.
The Bears. Like, dude, just make the throws that are there. Don't force anything, and let your running and James Cook go crazy because we know when it comes playoff time, and that's why I kind of trust the Bills more than even you guys. We know it's running the ball in the playoffs is what wins games. Like we've seen it year after year after year, and the Bills are one of the best running teams in the league. So at that point, learning that it's just Josh.
But
don't force any balls in double coverage. Throw it away. Live to see another down, and trust your run game and your defense. If you're down 21 points, I get it. You're down 14, I get it. But you don't have to throw a pig down 7-0.
But how do we know he's calling those plays? He's not calling the play like,
No. What I'm saying is though, yeah, he's not. No, but they can call a pass play. That doesn't mean you throw it into double coverage. They can call a pass play. That doesn't mean you force the ball. You know what I mean? You throw it away, live to see another down. It's not, oh, the offense coordinator is not calling any run plays. I was like, I haven't seen a Bills game yet where they only ran the ball 10 times. Like that doesn't exist, right? They tend to have a good balance. It's just more of those passes where, hey, Josh Allen, you don't have to win it right here on this play. Like
Yeah.
you
No,
have
I'm
more
with you.
time. Like there's more time. And that was again, I watch a lot of sports, so that was a conversation like his first 3 years, like Josh Allen thinks he has to win it every play. Like this play is the Superman play. Every single one is this play. He
Right.
kind of tailored that back, and he hasn't been completely back to that, but his turnovers up a little higher. Again, Jake, probably a lot to what you're saying. Like, okay, I know I don't have the receiver, so I gotta kind of, win it now. I gotta make the play now. And if they keep the turnovers down in the playoffs, I think again the AFC's wide open. I like the Bills' chances. I'm a,
They need to
I'm a
they
more
need
of a
to
Bills fan than
utilize.
you right now, Jake. Like
Well,
I
no, I
think
know.
with Josh Allen, I
They
think
need
they
to
have a good chance to come out of the
they
AFC.
need to get Kincaid healthy, and they need to start running the double tight end set because
Kincaid is huge.
that's why they
Kincaid is
drafted
huge.
Kincaid. He's supposed to be that number one target, and he's been hurt. They haven't had both, but if you can run, go out there and run a double tight end set, that opens up a lot more running room, and you got those guys in the seams where you're right though. I'm totally with you,
Completely
Josh
agree.
Allen. It's like if something goes off game scripts, it's like he's got that Favre mentality, which is why I like him. But he's going to try and throw the ball through two defenders, to get to his receiver. And you're right; it doesn't always work
I'd
out.
rather him just take off. You know what, Jake? If it's
Me
not there, just
too.
run.
Yeah, me
Don't force
too.
it just with the air, with your arm. Don't force it with the arm. Force it with your legs. Run, take off.
Yeah,
Take off 12 times in the game. I'm not gonna say a word. You
yeah,
throw double coverage and you're throwing picks. I'm just like, you don't have to make that throw. You just
yeah.
don't.
I know. I get it.
All right, Ben, you've been patient enough. Talk to me about them Panthers and the fucking dub against the Rams, bro.
17% now.
Let me hear it. Let me
17%.
hear it.
Listen, what's interesting about the Panthers, I think, is their biggest strength is also their biggest weakness. It's their youth. They're a very, very young team. And what I love about Dan Morgan is they did not plan to win now, even though they have Bryce Young through their new building, through whatever, not trading Adam Thielen, not getting anybody in. They are stacking picks for next year. But Dan Morgan's like, nah, we're not trying to win now, but fuck it, let's go win football games. And so it's a pretty cool feeling to have. I've never had it so far as a Panthers fan since 2017. It's a really different feeling when you've been paying attention to what's going on in the locker room. But anyways, a few stats. Bryce Young is tied for first in the NFL right now on third and fourth downs. He has an 80% completion rating with 158 rating for that time. He has 13 wins in his career, but 11 of those wins are game-winning drives. So this is with the combination with the run game with Rico Dowdle, who we know is a baller, and Chuba freaking Hubbard, man. I knew he was always there, guys. It was never a question. It was making me so upset. I know the fantasy owners and everybody is already wondering. No, it was making me mad. I know exactly why Chuba Hubbard was signed to this team. We all saw it yesterday. If you ask and you know what was going on with that Rams game, Andrew, they were all so pumped up how Chuba Hubbard was just messing everybody up. And they just kept on doing it. So they say, hey, run to my side, keep running to my side. It was like a collective team effort to just go pound the rock. And I have not seen that kind of football in a long time. And I was very, very, very happy to see it. But like I said, this combination with Bryce Young, the way he finishes games, with the defense and also the run game is a very, very interesting fact. We didn't think this would be a playoff team, only because of the division. But now it's alive and well. They're a half game back, and they get to play still 3 division games with the Saints and the Bucks twice. So if I were to ever start a football team, I would do it just like Dave Canales. Really huge fan of this guy. The more you dig it, he's a preacher's son. It doesn't matter. It's weird. Just how positive he is every day. People think his light's gonna turn out. No, it's so weird how he's able to motivate these men. And so I'm just turning into a firm believer, and it's exciting. And so, but like I said, Jake, I'm not gonna be surprised. You know, they're so young. Like I said, their weaknesses, their youth. They don't know how to handle their successes. They don't really know how to carry this over. You know, they did against the Niners. They were supposed to carry it over against the Niners. They didn't, right? But they did against the Rams. So who freaking knows, right? We'll figure it out. As what I like about the team is every week, all the reporters hate the Panthers because they are trained how to talk. We are 0-1. We want to go for a win next week. Last week doesn't matter. It's on the next week, and that's just how it's been all year long. Like we lost, but next week, and this is how this team is built. And we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get too dang excited, and so. But anyway, so fantastic. I want to say thank you. I'm really, really happy that all four of you guys are here to end this show with this question. You guys have all played significant parts in my life, particularly in the last few years with my growth and as a father and as a friend and as a family member, and so, but we've had some interesting conversations as of late, all of us lately. And so I just want to throw it out there to our SportsRanter community. Yes, this is a sports channel, and yes, we rant about sports, but we're also men here, and we all go through things, and this is an open platform. Something has been heavy on my heart to put this into our show, just because, yes, we love football players, and we have this. And we love football, we love talking football, but we're all also human beings, and so we want to open up that platform as well to you if you're out there watching. But I want to ask you guys, Jake, start us off, if you don't mind. Nowadays, I don't know if it was different from back then or nowadays, or if there is a difference, but I want to ask you in particular, what do you think men nowadays play a role in society, and how important it is? And I know it's a broad question, but here we go.
I mean, as far as role in society, it's a funny question because we've kind of, as a society as a whole, it depends on one. That opinion varies from one to the next. But traditionally, I think everybody, male, whether you're a man or a woman who has a husband or a boyfriend or looking for. Men are looked at, I believe, to be leaders and be, decision makers and to be almost looked up to, even men to other men, over time, as the world has changed, I feel like men have been kind of put to the back, kind of put on the back seat. How men feel, don't matter. Men don't express feelings anymore. Men don't know how to communicate feelings anymore. And, as our conversation was a few weeks ago, suicides, 80% are men. And, men don't know how to be anything other than what they are ingrained to be. And, we're taught from a very young age, don't cry, don't show weakness, be strong, be that leader. And if you don't have guidance through that, then you kind of go through your growth not knowing how to grow into that. And it makes, I believe it makes us just bottle up a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. It makes men look for very shallow things to affirm their masculinity without really having an identity of like who they are. Men's role in society, that's funny because I feel like that role has been, I feel like it's tried to be reduced. All of a sudden, men shouldn't be, heads of households. Men shouldn't be, in the workforce being the providers and things like that. Things that we, are grown up with the idea of. But it's tough. I know it's almost taboo to say nowadays, but like how much men struggle with just being men every day, because it's with the feminine movement and all that, we're just supposed to take on this, that the world is handed to us because we're men. And we know, as we've all been friends and had conversations, it's those struggles are brutal, and we don't it's hard to learn how to talk about it. It's hard to have other men that can actually advise you and guide you and mentor you, because our fathers went through the same thing. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to be there. um, but yeah, it's a challenging thing, and I feel fortunate to have had the people in my life as of late to help me kind of learn how to communicate this and talk about this, and put the emotions out a little bit on the sleeve, and not worry about the judgment so much.
Absolutely. Nick, please give us your take.
Um, I don't want to get too philosophical and or religious on this show. Um,
It's okay.
but
Thank you.
I think men are builders. We've always been builders. Men build everything. I know women don't like to hear that, but honestly, without men, there wouldn't be much, you know. And I think, and I'm not saying that it makes us better. I think men have a role, women have a role. God created us that way. God created us different. And I think, in lieu of what Jake was saying, I think our society has gone away from men technically uh, building things less often. There's more men, you know, behind uh, computers on a phone all day, stuff like that, that you doesn't feed the inner soul of a man. Um, I feel, some of the best joys I get out of my life is just work around the house. I finish a project. I do that. I'm not this crazy handyman, but I'm an engineer. I have somewhat of a desk job. I do go to job sites and stuff, but like, you know, sitting behind the computer does not, give me that satisfaction. I know I'm being a net positive to society. I know I'm engineering stuff. I know I'm helping society in that. I'm in part of a crucial portion to hold, buildings up and not to fall over. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, when I, build a fence or repair a wall or, do just, new assignments, install a new door, this and that, there's something that I can't explain that I would say God given that gives men the joy, and all we look for is just the appreciation of that. And I think that's what
Mm.
Jake in a roundabout way is saying is men are no longer appreciated for that, for
Wow.
being a builder. They're looked down upon, right? They're not these jobs. Jake, being an electrician is not held up high anymore, right? Back in the day, you were an electrician, you were top guy in society type of thing, bricklayers and all that stuff. That was looked at as a, noble, wholesome, great job. Now it's like almost, you know, why are you doing that? You
And
know,
any construction field it's looked at as admirable as in the hard work, but it's blue collar kind of second class
that's what I'm
citizen.
saying. The blue collar stuff, like you said, but I got pushed in the '50s. Blue collar was, blue collar is a positive word.
Right.
Blue is one. Blue is up top. Blue collars, and now it's like, oh, you're a blue collar worker. Like, where's the tech guys? Where's the this? Where's the that? And it's just that part of society is where I think we're trying to steer it back. We're trying to bring more manufacturing back to the country. We're trying to bring that stuff, but in lieu of what our overall goal as men, I think in society and I think globally is we like I said, we build stuff. We without men, we do the heavy lifting,
Mm.
and I think that's how it should be. That's how it should always be. And it has nothing against women, but I don't want my wife laying bricks. I just don't. I don't want my wife, on top of the, a three-story building, Can a woman do it? Sure. I'm not sexist, but at the same time, is that what society or what we need, or is that what preferred? Is that what best? Or should we have a man who biologically we have more muscle mass? Biologically, we're bigger, stronger, faster. Biologically, God has made us to carry heavier things. It's not anything crazy. It's just biology. Nothing sexist about it. Should we have them carry the heavy load? Yeah, I think it's smart. That's being intelligent. That's not being any other thing than just using what nature. We use nature all the time for whatever the nature provides for us. We use what nature has for us for our own good. Why wouldn't we use our same biology, the differences between men and women? And men and women have a lot of great qualities that also help society. We're just talking men, so I won't go on that. But like, yeah, men, we build stuff, and we should always continue to build stuff.
Wow. I really identify with that as being builders, especially trying to, you know, build a family. And Drew, you're raising two boys in today's world. So I don't know if like that somehow changed your life perspective ever since you became a pops or whatever. Just kind of you getting through the world, right? But now you got two boys that you have to be an example for into this world. So talking about a play as a man and role, dude, is it heavy or what?
Um, it's definitely a different feeling. You know, what I mean, it's something that you look into your actions, you look at the way that you do things so much more, not just the way that you say things, but your body language. You know, the way that obviously they're sponges, dude. My kids are 4 and 2, so anything I do, anything I say, it's reciprocated, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh fuck, like
I gotta
don't.
go. Love you guys.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
talk to you
yeah.
guys
Hey,
Take
later.
care.
Okay,
love you,
sorry.
No worries,
Jake.
bro.
Thanks, brother.
Later.
Appreciate
See you,
you.
man. And so it's just one of those things where I'm like, "Oh, man, I gotta hold my tongue or this, that, and the other. But um, at the same time, it's the greatest pleasure that you can possibly have. You know what I mean? To see them, get to those milestones, to be able to, like I said, my kid just finished up t-ball in his last game. He now we're going to t-ball, going to soft pitch, and he cracks two decent sized hits right off the first hit, just boom, boom, and it's such a great joy to see it. You know what I mean? And but it's not just like the sports stuff. It's not just that. It's watching him in TK right now, watching him grow, watching the youngest one, trying to say words and this, that, and the other. It's such a joy, man. But I think what a lot of things are right now, as far as like just today's society, it's not like it used to be though, dude. Like, especially us four living in San Diego County, like there's no way on God's world that any of us really can survive on one income. You know what I mean? It's so hard to play that traditional style role, if you will. Like, there's nobody that I know that has their wife at home. Like, it's so hard and so rare to even see that. So obviously, you know, the traditional style things, it just doesn't really go that way anymore because once, I mean, and I'm not trying to make it sound like a dick thing or this, that, and the other. But as soon as a woman starts working, they're going to want help around the house, and they're going to want help around. At that point, it kind of becomes an equal playing field for both of you guys, and that's how me and my wife do it. It's totally like equal playing field as far as how we do things and how we've always done things. Um, and it's just one of those things where it works for us, and I'm not saying it's the right or the wrong thing or this, that, and the other, but that's how we've done it since day one, and that's the way we're going to continue to do it because it's worked for us. But and I think that also makes everything in my life a lot easier. There's not as much pressure or as much, you know like I guess you can say, like, for me, having, oh my god, am I gonna be able to pay these bills? Like, do I, this, that, and the other? Because I know that, hey, like, my wife's gonna help out, she's gonna pitch in, we're gonna be okay. It's not a big deal. Um, so at that side of things, for me, it's a lot easier as far as a man. Like, there's still stress, is there still this, that, and the other? There's still stuff that I always feel like at the end of the day, I am the leader of the household. I feel like I do need to do this, that, and the other that every other man feels, of course. But when it comes to like the financial side of things, which I feel like is the main stressor for a lot of men, whether or not they're providing or this, that, and the other, doing the right thing for their family or this, that, and the other, for me, it's a little bit less pressure than I feel like most typical men would feel in today's society. So I mean, that's just my take. That's just my thing. I feel like in today's world, it's gonna be really rare that you're gonna have your wife at home, and so if your wife's working, like there's things that you need to do as a male that have to help her. It's not fair for a wife to come home and cook, clean, and do laundry and this, that, and the other, and yada yada yada. Like, dude, we're more than capable as men to do that. Yeah, does it suck? This, that, and the other. Sure, of course, but at the end of the day, like that's just the role that we have to play. You know what I mean? And that's the way that we have to do it. You can't just expect that it's going to flame out. It's never going to go good. If that's how you feel like you're going to live, you're just going to go home, do your 9 to 5, put your feet up on the wall, and expect dinner to be made for you. Like, come on, bro. Like, she's doing the same shit. So it's got to be give and take.
100%. And then I do appreciate that you give a very current perspective with the new culture, and it's very true. Like, I can't get my stepson out of the house because it's too hard out there, and you can't. It's the same thing, right? So trust me. So we hear the whole thing, and we know, and I get it, But what I want to say is to end the show is I think the example of real men, which we can go and discuss what that is, and there's a delta, right, of what a real man is in 2025. Okay, but I'll say it like this: the example of real men is needed more now than ever. And what I mean by that, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and be safe and walk this line of what a real man is. Obviously we're all taught to be builders, we're all taught to be tough, we're all taught to be our emotionals, but in the end, yes, we're builders, Nick, and we're truly the builders and leaders of our families is what we are. And the reason why I'm a believer is because it's so much harder to be compassionate. It's so much harder to have mercy first. It's so much harder to lead with love. And all these little tiny situations in your life. Your boss wants to put his little thing on your shoulder. Your son doesn't want to listen to you because he can't put his elbow up for the 10,000th time. Little things like that you find funny where, not only as a man, the example that you're giving to your kids and the example that you're giving to the community. With your current thing, Drew, with what's happening today, coaching. I learned a lot today about men coaching some tackle football. Okay? There was only 2 of us out of about 8 and all the parents that were actually qualified to handle a group of kids that didn't bow down to a group of kids, that didn't let them run the household. Because there was a group of men that were older than me, Drew, that came to me with this insecurity praise. Oh, thank you, because they cannot handle their son. He runs the house. And so, like I said, we can go down this route in so many ways, right? But like I said, the idea of a real man who is not nice but kind, somebody who understands discernment, someone who understands leadership, and someone who's willing to make that decision hard when it comes to your kids and it comes to your family. I'll never forget, and disciplining my son. I've still kept it under the amount of one hand, right? But as far as disciplining him in that manner, and I remember every time crying in the bathroom, how hard that was, and maybe it wasn't necessary, but nowadays I get praised so much on how he, in comparison, he's not an angel, but in comparison to all his little freaking demon childs out there, bro, he freaking shines like a light. And so I'm just so proud of my wife and I, and the other men of my life that have given me good examples too. And so, like I said, real men are needed more now than ever to give a good example, not only to our own families, but within the communities as well. So I want to encourage you guys, continue to do what you do. This is why I love talking with you guys, hanging out. You're so willing to step up and be that coach when no one else is willing to do it. you're willing to be involved in these men's lives. And I myself want to open up my strengths and all of my things I have inside for the right reasons and for the right kingdom, and is to be a good example for these children. God's most favorite sacred thing on this planet, right, is God's kids. So let's continue to do that, you guys. I already know that's what you guys do. It's why I love you guys. And so with that being said, that's how we do it here at the Sports Ranter. We talk football, we talk life, we talk all these things, and we want to welcome all of you here to do the same. This is your safe spot until next time, next week, 6 p.m. live. All right? Until next time,
peace.
Peace be the journey, and one love.
Yep. That was a good one, bro.
Very nice, Drew.
That was a good one.
How you doing?
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy.
I'm good, man. Good. And you?
I'm doing excellent, dude. It's good to see you. Sorry, I'm
too.
digging at you. Yes, okay. You're dying for our matchup, right? Where you're saying,
We'll see. We'll see
we
what
might
happens.
play each other in the